Hi, it's Travis with KGuardGuttering.com. We know it's an inconvenience sometimes to have people out, and people are busy. So we also offer a Zoom call. So you can jump on your cell phone or jump on your laptop or your tablet and jump on a Zoom call with us, and we'll be able to give you your free estimate. Hi, Cece. Welcome to your KGuardGuttering.com free estimate. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Travis. How are you doing?
Doing wonderful. We understand people are busy, so we're going to try to keep this as short, as sweet, and possible. What kind of problems are you currently having with your gutter system?
I have got so many tree limbs, and it's just not, my gutters just are not holding the water they need to.
Okay, we understand that. We hear that all the time. So, and we appreciate you reaching out to KGuard to give you a free estimate. So I just kind of wanted to show you a few things about gutter systems and kind of educate you about the buying process, because there's a lot of companies out there that are trying to sell you a lifetime system that, if you read the fine print, a lot of times there aren't a lifetime system. So we just kind of wanted to go through what you have probably currently, and then what the options are out there for you, because sometimes we're not the right fit and sometimes we are the right fit. So we just kind of want to go through the process. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I kind of wanted to show you what you probably have currently. I looked at your Google Map images, and it looks like you have a regular K-style gutter on your home now. That just means it's a regular open trough gutter system. It's usually hung with a spike and ferrule system, or if it's a newer installed gutter, probably in the last 12 to 15 years, it's going to have what they call a hang fast bracket. Everybody's probably seen this on their home. Most people probably haven't seen inside of them. Have you been up there to clean out your gutters before?
Well, I send my husband up there. I'm not going up.
Okay, awesome. How important is it to you if he sticks around for you?
Depends on the day, but most days I like him being around.
Right. Well, just so you know, non-occupational falls represent over 40% of fatalities in the home. So that's people like you and me falling off the ladder, changing a light bulb, cleaning the gutters. So it's very important not to be on the ladder. So I just kind of wanted to educate you on how the open gutter system works. When it clogs, so you've been dealing with clogs, obviously you wouldn't be calling looking for a gutter cover or gutter protection. When it clogs, what happens is the water actually fills up into the gutter system, and it has two places to go. It can go over the front once it gets completely full and hit towards the foundation and your landscaping, or before it gets there, it actually goes into the nail hole, because that's below the floodplain of the gutter system. But what a lot of people have noticed when they're walking around mowing their grass is they'll see these little nails sticking out like that. When you're looking at it from the ground, you'll see it like that. Have you ever seen one of those sticking out on your house?
Oh yeah, I have several like that right now.
Awesome. Well, not awesome actually. What that means is water has actually gotten into your home's foundation. I'll show you a little animation right here just to kind of show you why that happens. So let me pull that up on the laptop real quick.
All right, so what happens is the rain falls down from the sky. It's going to go towards your gutter system. And the problem about open gutters is when they clog and they fill up, there's actually a point of entry into your home where the spike and ferrule, the hang fast bracket hits. Well, what happens is that causes fascia rot, soffit rot, and eventually if it goes left unattended for a long time, it actually causes siding and rafter rot as well. Another thing that can happen is they can overflow if they're clogged, and it comes down here and will actually erode the land, and eventually if you have a negative incline to your house, that water will pool and go into your home's foundation. KGuard solves that because the rain comes down from the skies just like before. It comes down, hits this, we mount behind the drip edge. We do not attach to the roof, so there's never going to be any wicking and stuff underneath your shingles. That water is going to adhere to the gutter system and go into the gutter, fill up, and what's cool about once it fills up, if you were to intentionally clog it, because it will never fill up completely, but if you try to intentionally clog it, our screw hole is actually about 1.25 inches above the floodplain, so you will never get any fascia board rot, any soffit rot caused by our gutter system, and that's how we're able to issue a lifetime no fall off warranty.
So kind of understand how that water could get into the home and how that's expanding that nail away from the home, or away from the fascia board, right? Like we just talked about in that animation.
Yeah, I see that.
Okay, so what we were talking about in that animation also, that homeowners oftentimes will go and try to point to a lower section. Well, that lowers the floodplain of the gutter. So I just wanted to give you a visual of that animation that we just showed you. So.
Okay.
All right. So you have lots of options. You can go to say Home Depot and buy like a screen. They sell these in a metal format, they sell these in a vinyl format, they sell them in plastic, ABS, all kinds of stuff. Thing is they put that on the gutter. You usually tuck that up underneath the shingle or the drip edge, depending on the shape of the actual design. Have you ever seen these designs?
I have, yeah.
You have? Have you ever had them on any of your homes?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Okay. So the problem is they have really big holes. So it does a really good job of keeping maybe a sweet gumball tree out, some of your larger acorn, stuff like that. It'll keep your larger stuff out. Problem is it's not going to shed that pine needle. It's not going to shed. It will act as a shelf, and those little helicopters from the maple trees will land on them. But the problem is those rot. And when those rot, they end up standing up like soldiers in your system. So have you ever drove down the street and seen the little maple leaves? Yep.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people have seen that. So another option is, and it's not a not so cheap fix, is LeafFilter. So this sample is actually a little older, and it's starting to fall apart. We had taken it off of a house because it does get brittle and break down. But basically how it works, it has a micro mesh screen like that over basically kind of the Home Depot Menard style screen, right?
Okay.
And if you look at it, made by LeafFilter. Problem is this is going to keep all your smaller stuff out, like your roof granules and stuff like that. It does a really good job of keeping stuff out of your gutters, and their guarantee of keeping the gutter clog free is, you know, for the most part pretty good, right? But they don't guarantee that the screen will never clog with pollen and stuff. I'm sure you have allergies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So when all that cottonwood seeds and all those allergies in the air, the pollen and stuff like that, do you change your furnace filter at home or your air filter in your car?
Every month.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a filter that you don't need to change or clean?
No.
No? It's funny. If you look at the website of the warranty of all these different screens, there's all kinds of different brands out there. You know, there's this one. This is actually LeafFilter's new product, by the way. They went to a little bit bigger screen. So, and they took their name off of it, which I found that to be a little suspicious. But that's what they're putting on the home now. But if you look in their warranty, they are actually recommending that you get up there and clean the membrane with a brush to get that high pollen and all that stuff off there, and the dirt that actually kind of turns into mud and creates a film and then makes it where the water can't get into the system. So while they made your gutter clog free, they didn't necessarily make it maintenance free. So does that sound maintenance free to you?
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, I think we ruled that out, right?
I think so.
LeafFilter is the right fit if you're, you know, looking for a fast, cheap fix and you're just trying to sell a house and your landlord, not your landlord, but your bank or loan officer is making you get gutter protection. It would be a quick fix. It's going to last, you know, maybe 2 to 5 years. So it's right for some people in some scenarios, but if you want to be in your home for a long time, right?
Right.
All right. So I kind of want to talk about the next option. So the next option is covers. They also have some do-it-yourself versions of covers that are made out of vinyl that you can also get at your Menards, Lowe's, Home Depot, stuff like that. But the next option is gutter cover or gutter helmet. So what's the problem is with gutter cover and gutter helmet, it works off the principle of liquid adhesion. That concept is great. That's real similar to how our system works. The problem is how they mount it. So if you look at a lot of your roof's warranties, like Owens, Corning's, Tamco, all those, if you look at the fine print, depending on how it's worded, it will say if you disrupt or puncture the shingle in a place that you're not supposed to. If you look at the shingle tabs, a lot of times they have exact spot for a nail line or like a painted on line to where you're supposed to nail it in. You're supposed to have like 5 nails per shingle and no more and no less. Well, they have to mount this somewhere. So what they do is they get up on your roof and they have to pry this up because there's tar. So they literally have to pry up your shingles, break that tar strip here and here. This one's been cut down to make it fit in my little sales bag. And then they rest this, they jam it up underneath there, oftentimes ripping your shingles. And they have to screw this down. And then they'll add some sealant or whatever to try to get this to all adhere right. But that's what it's gonna kind of look like. So if you ever notice that ice on a bridge freezes faster than ice on the road, well, imagine this is now elevated from your home. Water's coming down your roof shingles. As soon as it hits that, it's going to freeze because now it's, you know, elevated away from the heat of your roof. It's not touching your roof. And what that does over time is actually causes this to bow a little bit. And if you look at people that have had gutter covers in the past and had them replaced, this will actually kind of ski slope up. We call it ski sloping shingles. So while it does keep your gutters pretty much maintenance free, other than some few defects, they don't have like a built-in bird block and stuff like that. But they do, for the most part, keep your gutters fairly clean. Probably would need to still clean these every 2 to 5 years, but it's a you know, somewhat of a cost-effective solution, but it's probably still super close to our pricing. So we actually usually beat these people's pricing because they have to do so much maintenance to get these back pitched correctly, then install these, that this combination ends up being more expensive than calling a local dealer like us here at KGuard that has a lifetime solution. The next options are your lifetime solutions. Have you heard of LeafGuard?
I have.
That's kind of like the Kleenex. If you say tissue paper, people usually think Kleenex, right? If I say pop, what's the most common pop that most people refer to in pop?
Coke.
Coke, yeah. Heck, in some parts of the country, they say, hey, grab me a Coke, and they're like, hey, what kind? And it'll be like Dr. Pepper. Well, that's not Coke, but you know what I mean? Like, it just depends on where you're at in the country. But tissue paper, usually people say Kleenex if you say, hey, grab me a tissue, right? So that's where LeafGuard comes in, right? So LeafGuard was one of the first, really the first big brand, and that's kind of why everybody calls every gutter system LeafGuard. So if you search LeafGuard, you're going to see, hey, we sell LeafGuard, hey, we sell LeafGuard, hey, we sell LeafGuard. What they don't tell you is that if you put LeafGuard together, you'll find the patented product, okay? If you search it separate, you're going to see every product on the market, right? LeafGuard's really a great product. It was patented in the early 90s by a guy named Herb Englert. It works off the principle of liquid adhesion. It's a complete system, just like K-Guard. They have a ABS patent bracket there, right? Screws into the home's foundation. It's a pretty rigid design, right? Looks really good. Looks really sweet. It looks like crown molding on the house. It actually makes it look really great. There are a few imperfections to it. So one of the imperfections to it is, you know, earlier when we were talking about that drawing, when I was kind of drawing it out real quick and kind of showing you where water can go on the home and that animation. Well, when that wind blows, like we were talking about, and why K-Guard has a rear drainage channel, when the wind blows, where's it going to go? There's a little itty bitty flashing tab back here. So if it's blowing, say we had 60, 70 mile an hour, you know, sheets of rain, those gale force winds that we get sometimes, that water's going to go up and over the back of it because it has a small flashing tab. Plus, on really long runs, you get 30, 40 feet, you have to pitch the gutter downhill, right? Water has to run downhill.
Right.
So it's going to run downhill about a 1/4 inch every 8 to 10 feet, right? And what happens when you have a 40-foot run? Where's the water going to go if it's not behind the drip edge, the water that's coming off the roof? Where do you think that's going to go, Cece?
Right behind the gutter.
Right behind the gutter, exactly. So you're a smart cookie. All right. Another problem that it has is they didn't think about the bottom of the trough. The trough is not supported. So while we don't really want to talk bad about our competitors, what happens over time is this starts to sag. We call it the LeafGuard smile, because on a 20, 34 foot run, the outside is real tight to the end cap like it's supposed to be, like it was designed to be, engineered to be, and then by the time it gets to the middle, it starts to sag. Well, what happens is that creates water to come out, right? They're not clogging unless a bird gets in. That's probably the one default about this product, is birds can get in and out. Those little finches and stuff in the spring when they come in, they're looking for a place to build a nest, right?
Right.
So that's probably the one major default, is the birds can force their way in there and basically force it to smile on top of that. So let's talk about K-Guard and how it fixes that solution. So K-Guard is a complete system. Actually, one of our founders actually helped found LeafGuard, the original design, which used to be smaller than this, by the way. The very original LeafGuard design was 13 inches of metal instead of whatever that is. Our product is 22.5 inches around. It's 22.5 inches of metal. It's got a really, really big flashing tab. So we can do probably about 60 feet before we run out of metal, and then we can also back flash behind the drip edge. So it's going to mount behind the drip edge. We do not disrupt that roof shingle. Remember earlier when we were talking about gutter cover, gutter helmet, and all those different toppers? We do not disrupt the roof shingles. For an example, the screws are going backwards here. This is your fascia board. They would actually be going into the rafter tails on the fascia board. But it mounts directly to the fascia board, right? Completely system. We have a few perks. We talked about that wind-blown rain on the LeafGuard sample. When the wind blows, guess what? We have a rear drainage channel. It tucks yeah, real good. It tucks right behind the drip edge, so it's protected. So your drip edge is usually like that, so it's not getting debris in it. But even if you intentionally clog that, like say you wetted down some toilet paper or Kleenexes and tried to clog that, what would you have? You'd have LeafGuard, right? Just a bigger version of it, okay? We got a textured hood design instead of a smooth hood design. We can actually add more texture to this on really, really shallow pitch roofs, because actually the shallower it is, the more texture you need, and the steeper it is, the faster it hits the surface, so it has more time to adhere. That very rarely comes into effect. Our gutter mount actually mounts above the floodplain, so the screw is like, I've never even done the measurement there, but I believe it's like 1.5 inches above the floodplain. So even if you stuffed rags in the downspout box, or the downspouts, and intentionally filled this up like a bathtub, guess what? The water can only go one direction. It can never go into the fascia board. It can never get into your home, your soffit, and all that fun stuff. It can only come out the front, right? But it's never going to clog, so you're not going to have that worry, right?
Okay.
So that's basically the gutter system. How we install it is we come out to your home on installation day. We are going to do a tap check of your entire home's fascia board. We're going to take a hammer, anything that looks soft, anything that has paint peeling, we're going to tap check that, make sure it's not soft. If it's not soft enough to handle a hammer or handle a screw, we are going to replace that for you. We actually include 20 feet discrepancy in all of our estimates. That way, we don't have to stop the job, come knock on the door and be like, hey, you have 8 feet of wood rot, we need, you know, a couple $100 or whatever for the labor. We already have the 20 foot built into our pricing. It just makes it a peace of mind. Now, if we take down your gutter system when we find termites or carpenter ants or something like that, that's obviously a different scenario. That's going to be more than 20 foot of wood rot, and I hope everybody would understand that's watching this video. So do you have any questions about how the KGuard gutter system works?
Well, I mean, it looks like a great system, but is there any warranties? I mean, what makes it a lifetime?
So there's 3 different warranties actually. So there's a lifetime no pull away. So I'm gonna pull the sample back up real quick. So there's a lifetime no pull away. We just talked about the wood rot. And one reason why that is so important is because we offer a guarantee that this gutter system will never separate at all from the fascia board. If you start to see separation, so if you were walking down below the gutter and this gap went to like a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch, something's wrong, right?
Right.
So you would call us, and you call our number, the old jingle, right? Get your head out the gutter, call 913-229-7550. Everybody's recognized that song, right? Call that number. We come out, free of charge, inspect your gutter system, okay? And if there's something wrong, like maybe we missed a piece of wood rot, which that would be really bad, but we would take down that gutter system and rehang it after we replace the wood rot, but we usually don't miss something like that. But if you saw that to separate, something's usually wrong, and it's usually something happening above the gutter system. So like, you know, maybe a roof shingle got wind blown damage and water got behind it and nobody's inspected your roof in a couple years. Your gutters show you a sign that something is wrong, and it's not always gutter related. So if you see that, call us, we'll come out and inspect it for free. And if it's something that we missed, we would take care of it. And if it's something, you know, KGuard can help you out, we could put you in the right point of the right contractors and stuff like that. And we do roofing, siding, and windows as well. We just don't really market that on TV or anything. So. The other 2 warranties are a lifetime no clog warranty. So this is guaranteed to never clog. I forgot to mention the bird block. So we talked about gutter cover and gutter helmet and LeafGuard, birds able to get in.
Right.
Mr. Knudsen that patented this product actually had patented the original K-style gutters and stuff like that, had helped with the LeafGuard design, had something to do with a lot of different metal machines, siding, stuff like that. Worked hand in hand with Mr. Englert that patented the original LeafGuard. So one thing that he did is he wanted to get rid of the bird block problem. So you cannot get your fingers in this gutter system to save your life, right? And once it's actually all screwed together, I actually have one that's all screwed together here. I forgot to get out here. Sorry. I don't zoom every day all day. So once you get it all screwed together, now this one's all scratched up because I carry it in a bag with all this other metal stuff. But if I handed this to you in person, which I would normally would if we were at your house, you cannot get this apart without any tools or I'll go to your house for free. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Birds can't get in, you can't force, you can't pull, you can't pry. This is not coming apart. It's never coming off your home. It's a lifetime warranty. And last but not least, I told you this one's a little scratched up because I carry it in my bag. It comes with a lifetime paint warranty to never blister, peel, or crack. The only thing it can do is scratch, so all we do is recommend that if you ever have an insurance adjuster out, Holiday Light Company out, and all that stuff, fun stuff, that they're using this, A, safety protocols and using ladder stabilizers, B, if they are not, that they have some kind of foam rags and stuff. You shouldn't lean metal against metal, it could scratch. So that's the only thing that wouldn't be covered. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, so do you have any questions?
What kind of time frame do you have to get it installed and whatnot?
So depending on the time of year, right now we're about 2 to 3 weeks out, and that's kind of about where we average. I'm glad you brought that up because some of the competition, like I said, we don't want to intentionally talk bad about the competition, but some of the competition they're actually doing kind of malpractice. You have a legal right, a 3-day legal right of rescission when you buy a product, whether it's a car, a house, not a house, but because those are a little bit different docs. You have closing docs and all that fun stuff. But when you buy stuff for your home, you have a 3-day right of rescission, especially on an in-home sales appointment and stuff like that. And some of our competitors are actually installing inside that 3 days, and they're doing that because it gives you not enough time to do your proper research. So I'm glad you were able to jump on a Zoom call today. That means you're internet savvy, and we just highly recommend that everybody does their research, search products names, followed by maybe lawsuits, so like LeafFilter lawsuits, or you know, a pissed off consumer reports for like LeafGuard, stuff like that. There's all kinds of stuff out there. AI is your friend, Google is your friend, and most importantly, you can do local business with a national company, but locally owned. Me and Carter own it here, right here in Kansas City. We service all of Missouri and all of Kansas, and a little sliver of Illinois because of St. Louis. We have the rights to that as well. So, you have any other questions?
So when you come out to install it, tell me about your installers. I mean, where do you get them from?
That's a great question, Cece. So all of our installers work directly for us, and they only do the trade they're in. So our window installers, I know I mentioned windows and siding, only do windows. Our gutter installers only do gutters. And matter of fact, our newest gutter installer has been here 7 years. So that tells you how experienced they are. I'm actually a little jealous because they're so good at their jobs that a lot of times they don't even have to put in an 8-hour day. They've gotten so efficient at their day. And here we are slaving it away at the office oftentimes until 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So they are very, very well trained, and they're no subcontractors either. So that's very important. No against the subs. I have a lot of friends and family that are subcontractors, and most of those guys do really, really good work. But when we opened our business model, I worked in the window and siding industry for another company before we opened it, and it was really hard to control. You know, like we had an installer named Billy, for an example. It's really hard to tell Billy that he has to install on Monday for us, but we don't have work for him on Tuesday. So then he goes down the street to the other window company and gets work for 3 or 4 days. Well, now I've got a job that the windows just came in. It's urgent. Hey, Billy, I need you to install tomorrow. Billy's not available now because I didn't have work for him Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it just becomes a scheduling nightmare. So we make sure we employ everybody. We pay everybody super well, and that's why I think our shortest term employee's been here at least 5 years. So it's been a very long time. So you have any other questions?
No, I think you've summed it all up. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, we're going to do your Eagle view of your house if you're interested. What that is an online report, or we can come out if you would like. Now that we've done this Zoom call, we can come out and meet you in person and measure the house to get you the to the penny price. Or we have this cool feature at the end of this video. You fill out the form. It's going to fill out, we just need your name, address, zip code's very important, and there's an option to upload one picture of your house. The reason why that's there is it's very important when we pull the satellite imagery from our website that we use, Eagle View, that we get the accurate house. So sometimes it drops the pin on the neighbor's house.
Okay.
Or right in between, and we need to drag that pin to which house is proper. And it's going to give us all of our measurements for us, and then we can get you a to the penny price, and we don't even have to come out. But now that we've had this Zoom call, if you'd like us to go ahead and come out, we can do that as well. So what would you like to do today?
Let's can I schedule you to come out maybe this evening after 6? My husband will be here with me, and I think I'd like to see more.
Yeah, we sure can. We actually do same-day appointments with a couple hours notice, so we can do a same-day appointment, not a problem. What I'll do is as soon as we get jump off this call, I've got all your information. I don't want to give that out here on the Zoom call. I'm going to text all of our reps. I believe John is in your area at 6 o'clock tonight. I just want to make sure that he didn't have a family game or baseball game or something pop up for the kids that I didn't know about that wasn't on the calendar, because we are a family-owned business and we always put family first, but we can do same-day appointments definitely. So we'll see you at 6, and I'll let you know here in just a few minutes when I text you or call you that who is coming out to your home at 6, okay?
Great.
Well, we look forward to doing business with you, and remember, we're a lifetime warranty product, and we're just a phone call away, so if you ever need anything, you just give us a call after we have the product installed on your house, and we'll take care of you, okay?
All right. Thanks a lot, Travis.
Awesome. Thank you very much, CC. Have a great day.
You too.
For those that do need financing, we have that option available. You can even get your pre-approval right up here in the corner on our website. We have 12 months same as cash, and also longer term financing based on the dollar amount of the job and obviously your credit score. So we look forward to doing business with you, and thanks for considering kguardguttering.com.